I'm a 20-year-old planning assisted suicide. I've had enough. So Eric Coleman had the bash of his life only to say goodbye to family and friends for good. After years of declining health, the 20-year-old from British Columbia has decided to pursue medically assisted death and revealed his decision to his family during a May barbecue with his loved ones. And like, that must be so hard for him, but also so hard for his family, friends, and all that kind of stuff. Like, to hear that's like, hey, like, we love you, and you're not going to be here anymore. Coleman made the decision after he learned that he would need 6 organ transplants to live, with only a 50% chance of survival. Now, personally, to me, I think 50% chance of survival honestly is good. Like, I would be willing to take that coin flip because I would be willing to do whatever it takes to try to survive, right? But I completely understand his line of thinking where maybe he's just so tired and he's just so depressed and he feels so much pain that it's just like he just wants to be done with it. Like, I completely understand that. So, according to him, there'll be an end to suffering. I suffer all day long. I've been in a four-walled room for a very long time, and I've just had enough. The 20-year-old from British Columbia told CJDC TV, explaining why he opted to carry out suicide with the help of medical professionals. Lord. So he's making use of Canada's Medical Assistance in Dying law, which allows eligible Canadians over the age of 18 a chance to take their life into their own hands. Like, this is still like pretty hard to read, honestly, because it's like 20 years old is just such a young age, and to not try everything that you potentially can to like live as long as you possibly can. But like I understand, right? It's like it's also about the quality of life. Like, how good is the quality of life that you're gonna live? But suicide is just such a sad way to go. The 2016 law states that the patient must have a serious and incurable illness, disease, or disability, and also be in physical or psychological pain that medication cannot fix. For much of his life, which has been spent mostly in pain, Coleman suffered from abdominal distress due to an unidentified gastrointestinal condition. While the doctors were stumped, he continued to deteriorate and lost his small bowel, contracted liver and kidney disease, dealt with chronic pain, and suffered from infections. Eventually, he went into septic shock when part of his intestine ruptured, resulting in an emergency room visit. I went into emergency and got a bed right away, and that night it ruptured and I got put in a coma for I can't remember how long, he said. Whew, Lord. He was transferred from Fort St. John to Dawson Creek, then to numerous other hospitals, all to end up back at Fort John, or St. John, where doctors were still scratching their heads. A medical anomaly, Coleman was informed by his doctors that his only chance at survival and comfort would be to receive a whopping 6 organ transplants, which he claims had never been done before. The catch? He would only have a 50% chance of recovering. Then he discovered medically assisted death, which was hard to tell everyone else about. Now, here's the thing, right? Again, like my line of thinking, instead of going like the medically assisted suicide route, why not be like to your friends and family like, "Hey, I'm gonna try this thing out, but I'm probably gonna pass away. Like, because I think that would probably be kind of equivalent, but you still got like a coin flip chance of potentially surviving and living potentially a long life or a longer life. Like, to me, I just don't like the idea of just giving up, right? But again, he's an adult. According to the law, he could do what he wants. So I thought about it for a while. I kind of ghosted my family because I wasn't in a good place, he said. I knew it was what I wanted to do. And the thing is, I don't think a lot of people understand, but I think there's actually quite a few people who actually want to go down this route who might be perfectly healthy. While there isn't a date set, he vows to go when I'm ready. It is not when I am sick. It is not when they pull my medications. It is when I am ready, he said. When a person opts for medically assisted death, they're either injected with a drug while supervised by nurses and doctors or given oral medication. Either way, the passing is painless. I sometimes lay there at night and get sad sometimes, but for the most part, I'm waiting for the day because I'm in lots of pain all the time, Coleman said. I'm on many meds just to be comfortable for a few hours. And the thing is, we're going to check out the comments, but I have a feeling that this individual, this 20-year-old, is probably like laying down, in his bed, and probably is extremely fearful of dying, right? But it's probably also a situation where he's in that state of mind where the fear of dying is not as strong as the desire to end the pain. And that's like a really dark mental state to be in because it's like, yes, you can do this. Yes, you can end all the suffering, all the pain. But is that really what you want? Is that truly what you want to do? Like, do you truly want to just no longer live on the planet? Like, this is just, again, hard to read because the thing is, there's some people out there that exist that are perfectly healthy, that are not suffering the way that he is, that want to also end themselves. So, this is pretty hard to read, honestly. But yeah, let's check out some of the comments. Proud Texan Girl says, God bless this poor boy. Look at how he has deteriorated from the first picture to the second one. Living with constant pain from day to day is not only horrific, it takes away all quality of life. He has nothing to look forward to except more agony, and I certainly don't blame him at all for his decision. Because of all the opioid abuse and fentanyl overdoses, it's extremely difficult to get pain medication, even if one has a terminal illness. I can only pray that he can get a small respite from his suffering until such time as he decides when it's time to end it. I don't know how I feel about this particular situation. Most cases assisted suicide is performed on older people who has lived their life, and I am for assisted suicides, but in this case I have a hard time because I'm looking at this as a mother's viewpoint because of his age. He's of legal age, he's in pain and suffers every single day. If he feels that the odds of 50-50 is not worth going through transplants and would rather be free of this, then okay. As a mother, I would be shattered and would want him to try the transplants, but it would be for my own selfish reasons of not wanting to let go of my son. This is a strong young man that made this decision. And here's the thing too, right? As like a personal situation, like I had a family member who I love dearly who was dealing with pretty heavy duty cancer and was basically told that you're basically going to die within a year, right? Luckily, they beat it. It's in remission. But I was on the phone with them and they were so scared to die. So again, to read something like this, it's just so hard because like to not have enough hope for your future and to not have enough hope that like a coin flip chance of surviving is not good enough for you to try that. Like that is so hard to read. My sister, may she rest in peace, did this. Only it was in the US. She was in a lot of pain, no cures, hopeless feeling of despair all the time. She had access to the right amount of meds, left us a nice note, and went to sleep. One night. I only regret that I did not get to say goodbye, but she had enough, more than one person to take. I had things no doc could fix and said, I'm done, let me go. My heart breaks for this entire family. Ooh, Lord. Please say a prayer for this young man, Eric Coleman. Be grateful for your health, and it only takes a minute of your time. That is true. If you end up stumbling upon this video for whatever reason, feel free to give your prayers to him if you believe in God, or if you don't, maybe just like leave something generous to him because like just reading about someone that has such little hope is just tough. It is unfair and unfortunate to have to suffer like this while others with good health abuse their bodies to no end. I feel for this poor man and wish him the best for any decision he makes. I agree at 73 the past sins have cost me food and cigs, mostly the cigs. I can partially relate. My spine has been deteriorating since 2000, 2001. I now have 17 to 18 fractured vertebrae and the pain is nuts. I can feel every heartbeat in my spine, like if you had a terrible toothache, but nothing can be done. I take the strongest pain meds available and it still hurts. Picture 20 years of pain every day, almost 7,300 straight days of pain. It gets overwhelming. I feel badly for this guy since he's only 20. I'm 62, but he's fine the research and knows what he'll do one day. It's hard to pick a day to die. You try to avoid others' birthdays, anniversaries, happy holidays so family doesn't get together for Thanksgiving and cry every year. Hard decision, but do what you need to do, sir. God bless. And here's the thing, like if I was in this individual situation, I would think that I would go about it this way by like I wouldn't be thinking too much towards the future. I would be thinking more of like, okay, I'm just going to go one more day. And then the next day comes, I'm just going to go one more day. And I'm just going to keep on doing that one more day. Just not even thinking past the next day. Just like, okay, I'm just going to wake up the next day, going to wake up the next day. That's the way that I would probably handle it. But again, like this is tough because pretty much dealing with that for almost your whole life, ugh, it's just horrible. Let's see. No quality of life, constant pain, nowhere hope for survival, find peace. Bum 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 bum. This poor kid needs to be transferred to a rural hospital with competent doctors who can figure out the root cause of his illness and give him relief, hope in the future. And the thing is, this might be the case where the doctors are inept. That might be the case. It might be a situation where he may need to go to a different hospital, see some sort of specialist that might give him a better chance. But again, you never know. Feel free to give your thoughts on this. I thought this was a pretty tough thing to read because like again, seeing someone or reading about someone that has like no hope for their future, it's just hard. If you want to learn how to get a debt, master your money, all that kind of stuff, go check out 40inbox.com. Stay tuned for more stuff. But wow, this is tough.